Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, it's Tuesday's request day. Today's map was requested by the creator over on Patreon. They are indeed one of the BonBon buddies. Now, this map is absolutely jam-packed. There's so much going on with it, which is why the Today Show is as long as it is. So you'll be definitely kept entertained throughout. The thing is, I actually had a couple of extra features I was going to put into today's show, which, because of the length of today's show already, have been cut. I'm going to have to put them in maybe tomorrow. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. If I can squeeze them in tomorrow's show, I will instead. Right, information about today's map. Well,
it's my first map.
That's right, and it's quite impressive for being so. You know what that means, don't you? That's right, clicking that like button really does support the channel, gets me seen by more people and helps me grow a little bit more every single day. And that production time you saw, that is about right, you know. Heavy show today. Anyway, it's Drake's Bay by tombeaty. It's based on the Drake's Bay, well, it's inspired by Drake's Bay, the real life location. There's your start square. That looks very busy and fun, gotta say. Terrain heights look pretty amazing. Very happy with all of those as well. Let's have a little look at those resources. Very usable, no problems with those. We're going strong so far. And what about if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing? Well, it looks like that. All of the varieties are there too. Wow. Okay, off to the workshop. What do we need? The answer is mass transit. It is a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. We'll be using the California coast theme, the clarity LUTs for the first part of the show, and, well, relight average for the second part. We'll talk more about that a bit later on. There is a one-click collection. It is down in the comments, so you don't have to go through all of these items individually. It is a little bit heavy on the assets. By tombeaty's own admission, they've realised that less is indeed more, and that's definitely the coast here. Definitely the case here. Indeed. There are one or two things I haven't subscribed to here that aren't necessarily absolutely essential, and I'm not needing for the actual recording of the show. So where there's like remove decoration sprites there, I use hide it for that. And yep, of course I remove them always because they are ugly. TMPE, is that needed? Well, it's suggested. Also, Avania's keys, link collection there. You're going to want all of these, apparently. I've not checked to see whether all of them are used, but there is definitely a lot of keys used on the map and used quite well on the whole. Okay, right, so 3 minutes in and we haven't even got down to the map. Okay, let's have a look at the map. The map is strong. It's well laid out, well planned out. We've got good pretty good highway layouts. I mean, the layouts are great. We'll pick up any detailing issues and jinky jankies as we go along, but on the whole, I would say the actual planning of the layouts has been quite strong. A little bit of glitching alongside of the highway there, which might be a bother to some of you, but it also looks borderline realistic, so I think we can let it be. Now, if you know the Drake's Bay area, you're gonna realise that part of this map is creative, completely created from imagination, and a part of it is based very much on the actual location. So if you're looking to recreate Drake's Bay, it might not be exactly what you're looking for, but if you're looking for a good build, this could be it, you know. Now, we've got something a little bit odd going on here, and this is the first thing that says to me there might be some glitching going on across the map. This pile of spike going on here, I don't know whether it was intended to be. Some good detailing going on down here. I've got to say, some interesting bits and pieces going on down there. But yes, the spike is, well, almost as high as the factory. What factory? Everybody's favourite factory. Yeah, it's almost as tall as the chimney. So, yeah, I'm not buying it, but it also looks like it might have been intentional, or a little bit of this looks like decaling that might be encroaching onto the highway. Not necessarily a problem. Again, it's something I could probably deal with, but it's not perfection. I've got a little bit of interesting foliage going on here as well, glitching around both sides. I don't know what the idea that tombeaty had there was, but it hasn't quite worked. Definitely a case, this map, of one of those maps where I feel, oh, we've got some interesting traffic issue going on there. It's not a big problem. It's not going to be a heavily used intersection here, but yeah, the left turn across the highway might be a bit of a problem there. But yes, yeah, I mean, tombeaty's has had a really good stab at this. They've spent, you can see, many hours on the map, and this is always difficult actually. These prop laying down the middle, they don't always perfectly align, and I know, yeah, there's I can't remember which mod it is now, which is like, was it precision, prop precision or whatever. Yeah, I find that doesn't always work for me either. Anyway, the decline down the hill here is elevated, and I think it works quite well as elevated. It would have been quite a struggle to get this to work at ground level and look good, and it kind of does, so credit for that. It's not strictly realistic, but there are definitely one or two hints on this map that is a little bit fantastical rather than fantasy. What we got here is a little bit of glitching on the side of the highways. Not glitching, but the cutting. That's what the cutting for me up here wouldn't have been a cutting. It would have been just edged off, smoothed off a little bit. I don't feel, you know, we're talking about a real sharp edge on that one. On the opposite side, probably would have smoothed off a little bit more. But yes, that's my thought on this one. We are elevated at ground level, and again, this is something that Tom has covered in the description about noticing these things a little bit too late. Oh, this is a little bit interesting. We won't spot this later, but the rail cutting here is a little bit ugly. I've got the old dragon's teeth going along there as well. But yes, there's a lot of good, and there's just quite a few, a splattering of interesting anomalies on the map as well. This is a really nice intersection. Let's say it. This is a very nice intersection, and we're really quite close to the start square. So instead of going to the start square, I'm going to go this way because, well, there's just so much to see. We just skipped over a little bit of a road glitch there, you probably spotted, but this loop round, I like the way that we gain the elevation here. But yeah, a little bit of a road glitch on the slip road just behind us, which I had to re-record this, and I forgot to go back for it because I was trying to remember that we have a little bit of jinky janky under here, tiny weeny wiggly bit of jinky janky, easily smoothed out. All the little things need easily smoothed out, and we've got a pillar on the highway there as well. But yes, a little jinky janky there, tiny little jinky janky. I can live with that. This cliff edge here, I don't mind too much actually. That kind of looks like it would have been. Anyway, and we're looping around to get the height to go over the bridge, which is again a very good bridge. But yes, yeah, elevated at ground level does cause a little bit of an indent here and there. We've got some encroaching foliage on the road there as well from the vanilla rocks. Nothing you can do about the foliage apart from make sure the rocks don't get quite so close to the road. And a very lovely bridge here. Obviously having to move the highway out to align it could have been done a little bit more smoothly. Custom bridge with some Japanese or Chinese, I should know. I should have looked that up. Could be Korean. Oriental text on it. So that might not work if you're trying to recreate a Drake's Bay area. But it's a great bridge. Really lovely bridge. Lovely vanilla bridge there. Actually, it's a very lovely vanilla bridge. Quite pleased with that. Again, bringing the roads together. Could be just smoothed out a little bit there. Prevent the jinky jankies there as well. I mean, we're talking about the difference between excellence and supreme excellence. It is an excellent map. It's just got a few little bits and pieces, like, again, a little bit of a jinky janky there. Tiny weeny jinky jankies here and there. And a little bit of a wibble in the road as well. Very difficult. When you've got a map that has got so much on it as this one, finding all the little things, having spent, I would imagine... Oh, I don't know how long it's spent on this map. It looks like a map that's had 40 hours plus spent on it. I'm sure Tom will tell us that they've spent like 200, and I could believe either. A little bit of a bend and a jinky janky on there as well. But yeah, it's a map that's had dozens and dozens and dozens of hours spent on it. And then when you keep going back and checking and keep back, you can spend as long again going back and checking and finding things. And of course, the most polished of creators will go back and spend all that time finding them and finding them and finding them and polishing it until there's fewer and fewer errors and fewer errors and then fewer and fewer errors. Every time you check, you find more things, you polish them out, and finally you end up with a highly polished map. This map is just short of that, but what there is in this map is great. Say, where are we now? We're nearly 11 minutes into the show. We haven't even got to the start square. We haven't got to the asset review. Loving these intersection here as well. I love the exit lane down the middle. We don't often see this, do we? We really don't. And we've got these little tunnel entrances here, and we have to do a little bit of a fade through because I had to do a little cut because all sorts of technical problems with today's show. All sorts of technical problems. Oh, hell spells. I tell you, I spent a lot of time. I'm spending, even now while I'm doing this voiceover, I am probably an hour and a half away from finishing recording the show. So it's like, okay. Anyway, we've got some tunnels here. This is nice. This is very, very nice indeed. They emerge over here somewhere. Where were we? There we are. See it? This emerges over here. So I do like these tunnels that help you loop around and through a bay. And it's just a really nice, real natural feeling highway layout. That emerges over here. Now this is really nice as well. We've got some rail tunnels going on. Rail viaduct there. Like the way the road goes through the viaduct. Not tunnels. Overground tunnels. That's the one. This loops around an implausible water spawn point, but we will check that out later on. Guarantee you that one. Lovely little bridge going on here, although possibly a bit of encroachment with the rocks on the road there, just a little bit. Again, we're talking about just the difference between being excellent and par excellent there as well. And now we're getting down towards the start square kind of area. Finally, this intersection here, I think this next one is the start square one. This is a nice one. But yeah, this is the one that's going to be handling your start square traffic. It's a little bit squidgy. And I do have a little bit of a grumble over on the left hand side here. If you have a look, there's nothing supporting this loop around with the roads here. So you've got no pillar over from that section there. So yeah, I'd extend the road out a little bit and have a pillar a little bit further down there. Anyway, right, moving into the start square. Blimey, I can't believe we're finally getting here. And we've got a real cracker of a double asset of the day today. Prepare yourselves. Okay, it's Hammer85, who is fast becoming one of my favourites, I tell you. I've just got so many favourite creators. This one, West Side Market, it's two buildings, the main building, and then you have the side buildings that you can patch together to make something rather splendid. It's a rather splendid building, full stop. And I should do factoids because factoids, well, I remember. Factoids because factoids. During World War II, W.C. Fields kept $50,000 US in Hitler's Germany. To quote, or to paraphrase, I can't quote this. It's got the B word in it. In case the little bar steward won. W.C. Fields, prudent with their money. Obviously losing $50,000 US in the process. Because the little bar steward didn't win. Anyway, West Side Market there by Hammer. This is a lovely, lovely asset. And little side asset as well. Look at this. Top quality asset creating right there, through and through. Big fan. And you're going to be using that? I certainly would be. Let's get back to the map. Back to the map, I tell you. Right, okay, let's go this way, yes. Good intersection going on here again. Just some really nice mixes of intersections. Bit of wibbly wobbly jinky janky on the left hand ramp there, just a little bit. And then up into the hills. It's a map with hills as well, so it's partly flat, partly hilly, partly undulated. Another perfect looking vanilla suspension bridge there. And we're heading off towards the edge of the map, which means we can have a little look at the rail. Whew, running out of breath already, and we've still got so much show to go. So what can I tell you about the rail? Well, the rail is pretty much like the highway layouts. It's pretty solid. Again, we are elevated at ground level here, which is easily fixed if you want to downgrade it. I don't think it looks particularly bad. Oh, down to ground level. Finally, a little bit of sanity enters the rail building community. And it's if you have a look at the not just at the rail. Oh, we've got a little bit of rock glitching through the rail there, just a little bit. But if you have a little look around, not just what's going on with the highways and with the rail, but just at the mix of the trees. Now, the mix of the trees, I think we've got a really good mix, considering, of course, that we've got to subscribe to half the workshop. Yes, they've gone a little bit mad with the trees. I think what we have subscribed to has been used very well. Could it be more frugal? Yes. Oh, hang on. Have a look at this rail tunnel. A little bit of a problem with this one. It goes in, and then we've got a cutting right behind it, where you can see that the tunnel extends. Except it's invisible. It's an invisible tunnel, just for a couple of yards. There's an oopsie. But yes, you can see that everything that's been subscribed to has been used quite well, quite creatively. And I mean, there may be a whole bunch of things that could be cleaned up and not subscribed to. Maybe there's some stuff on this list where you just go, well, hang on a second. Like with Avanya's keys, they're great. Do we need all of them? Are all of them used? I've not actually checked. A little looping around on the rail here, and again, quite nicely done to get us down to ground level. That's good, clean work. Very good, clean work. But yeah, there's plenty of things going on with the map. The rail does actually go through the start square. So for those of you that want to have a rail connection in your start square, well, you're in place already. That's another plus. I don't think it absolutely necessarily has to go through the start square, the rail, but when it does, it is something to talk about. Then this heads up through one of these lined cuttings. Again, very clean and tidy there as well. The tunnel isn't the cleanest. We've got a little bit of encroaching foliage and a little bit of a ramp on the tunnel. Comes out over here, and again, this is very nice, the bridge stroke viaduct carrying the rail across there. A little bit of terrain glitching on the rail there, tiny little bits, but lots of little things to talk about across the entirety of the map. That goes underground. Where does that come out? Comes out all the way. Oh yes, one of these that loops all the way around. You can see it's sort of like overground there a little bit as well. Overground, then we go through a slightly ugly looking cutting there, and heading off towards the solar farm, because there is a solar farm as well. Of course, why would there not be a solar farm? Lovely looking bridge there as well, and then into the hills, and not going up and down on the hills, going into a tunnel, and we can take that intermission. I need an intermission.
Do you watch BonBonB with your morning coffee? Do you want to feel closer to the show? Then you need either the modern or retro mug from BonBonB. Click the information button now.
And so back to Drake's Bay by tombeaty and the shipping routes. We have a lovely little shipping route here with a little tassel on it, apparently. Apparently we need tassels on shipping routes now. Anyway, then over here we've got a second shipping route. This is the main shipping route. We have a loop in over here with a little link up there. This goes into the main bay through the middle of the bridge there. We do have one that cuts through the viaduct here, so if you do place your harbour right at the top, you're going to have a little bit of shipping clipping going on. And then that merges back out into the main waters over here. And I think we go... Oh, no, we merge into the main shipping line there. I forgot about that one. And then that will take us off to the edge of the map. Okay, water flow. Water flow, if you need it, we've got it. This is the main river. And it's good, it's wide, it's strong, it's deep enough. And I see no problems with that. So if you want to stick your sewage in the water, you are free to do so on this particular map. Okay, right. Still plenty to see. Because all we've done is looked at the highways, and there was plenty of interesting detailing coming up right about now as we head out into the ocean. Okay. Now, if you know Drake's Bay, you'll recognise this as being pretty much Drake's Bay. And then if we turn the camera around, this is kind of from imagination. Okay, so it's kind of a half and half mix, and I think it works really well together. Now let's have a little look around at some of these. Over here we've got like a watery type area, and we've got the outflow here. This river mouth. I don't know if it needs to be a bit deeper, a little bit more water coming through it. Maybe the sand being pushed up. Something needs to be done with that one, but it's almost perfect. This area is really busy. There's a lot of grasses here, so frame rate drops right down when you get down in here. But hey, that's what can you do about that? This is a nice little fishing-y area. Very nice picnic-y type area. You can have a picnic. But yeah, these are just like elevated a little bit too high. I'm not really buying into them. I mean, from above, they look fine. From above, they look all right. But when you get in close, if you were to get in, why would you get in close? I'm not sure what this is. This isn't from real life, but it's slightly phallic. We've got a little bit of terrain glitching on the inside of it. It's very difficult to get rid of that, but this will be pointed out. Could be more full, but I don't mind that. It's interesting. I'll say that. I'm not marking the map down on it. I don't understand it, but I don't mind it. This is like a garden centre, and it's really well done. I'm not sure whether it adds to the map or whether it distracts from the map or whether it makes the map worse. I don't know. I like it. I think it adds to the map personally, but I think a lot of you may be going, there you go. There's loads of your props and your stuff I don't need to subscribe to. Yeah, I get that. I understand that. I think it's been done well, and I think it adds. We have the solar farm. Very, very nice solar farm. And we have a wind farm as well, right by a big old fake reservoir, not a real life reservoir. Got a big old sluice gate going on there. Then we've got this, which by tombeaty's own admission is a little bit ugly. It's in place waiting for you to put in your own dam. Not entirely sure why Tom hasn't put the dam in for us. But yeah, it's in place, so it's just for you to do, I guess. Then we have got over, you won't be doing much building over here, but these hills look great. The tree placement on them is amazing. I love the area, I love the aesthetic of this area over here, and all credit. And you don't need the whole map being buildable, do you? Do you? No, you don't. Down here, we're right at the edge of the map, as you can tell. I'm just going to point out that we do have a little bit of side of road glitching along here. Just a little bit. It's not a big problem. We're right at the edge of the map. We do have a hint of blue mantle over here as well. But, yeah, again, quite close to the edge of the map. But I should point it out because we do have detailing down here. If we got detailing, then maybe this is an area which needs to be perfect. Not sure what these hazard lights are for around here, but I suppose to stop us from falling into the ocean. And some weird glitching going on here with the props being elevated up like that. That is very weird. Let's just say I don't understand whether that might just be my system. Possibly. Got some shark's teeth along here, which again could just be smoothed out a little bit, and some giant shark's teeth over here, which could be smoothed out a little bit. Meanwhile, if we go back down to the beach, we will spot we've got some lifeguard area. A slightly, well, the car looks like it's kind of hit that at pace, doesn't it? These props need to be put on a flat surface, mostly. This is better over here. This is a flat surface, and that prop car is very happy like that, and is looking much better. And we are moving in towards the map now. Again, beach props there look great, and this is like a lifeguards convention going on down here as well. Next bit, I like this next, oh hang on, and some more lifeguards there. Now this little feature area I think has been done really well. I like it, I don't fully understand it, I think we'll call it a little bit fantasy, only let down by the water physics. So liking this. Okay, we've got a couple of drowned trees because they are part of the rock, but look in there, we've got some steam going on in here, that's really creepy. And then we have some steam going on there. This is a little bit fantastical. Let down by the water physics around the back though, where the water is just glitching, preventing it from filling in around the side. Yes, it's one of those things that sometimes you have to juggle and say, look, this isn't actually going to work with the assets and the props that we've got. Again, a little bit of glitching going on there, and a couple of other dots around here and there as well. Let's go into the center of the map, have a little look around for stuff in here, because there's plenty going on over here as well. Like these little, this is really lovely aesthetic little area as well, with the rockery and the river coming down. More rockery going on over here. Marshy area, I really like this as well. The marshy areas have done very well indeed. We're only having a flit over that because, well, there's still a lot to see. This is our water spawn point I don't really buy into. I mean, admittedly, you can say the same about the reservoir, but I don't really understand that. It doesn't work for me. Then we've got this area down here. The peninsula is quite barren. I like the fact that it's barren. It's a little bit different. The beaches down here are great as well. Could have a hint of sand right there. But then we get down further towards the peninsula. We get elevated beaches that look like they haven't been smoothed to the edge, and I can understand there being like an elevated plateau, but not with the sand on it. How does the sand get up here? I mean, maybe by the wind, I guess. But yeah, then we get like sort of like these rocky edges with the sandy beach sat behind. It just looks a little bit unfinished around here, and the more we look at it, the more unfinished it will seem. Got the essential lighthouse, isn't she lovely? That's all cool. And then we've got a couple of little glitchy bits around here, some more heavily glitchy bits around here as well, a really heavy glitchy bit right there, and then, well, the biggest glitchy bit of them all is right at the end of the peninsula. We've got another essential lighthouse right there, but if we come around and have a look, it's just been cut off. It's just been cut off. Oh, that's a bit mean. I would have gone right off the edge of the map, to be honest with you. I would have just done that. We've not got any shipping routes around the outside, so I don't think it really matters. Anyway, wow, we've made it to the end of the show. Oh, we've even got this little castle area, which I really like, even though it makes no sense at all. I don't care. I actually do like it, so shut up. Anyway, what do you think of the map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewers' Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. I truly want it to be. Okay? It's going to score well from me, this one. Aesthetically, I like this. I like it. I think it's a really good mix between a real and creative custom design. It's a good choice of theme and LUT. Wrong LUT for the second half of the show, but it still looks good regardless. I'm going to give it a middly high 4 for that. No, a middly 4. There you go. Detailing on the whole is very good. There's a lot of little things that need tidying up though. A lot of little things. I pondered on whether that brought it down to 3 stars. I think it's still 4 stars, but it's just hanging in on 4 stars, only just. Gameplay potential, I think it's highly playable, but it's going to be a map that you're going to spend a lot of time cleaning things up as you're going along. That distracts a little bit from the game. I was going to go for a high 4. I'm going to go for a medium-ish 4 for gameplay. Drake's Bay by tombeaty. I like this enough to give it the BonBonB seal of approval. I wasn't sure that I was going to do that, but the more I looked at it, the more I liked it, and the more I would play it. It is very asset heavy though, so if you are running a potato, no seal of approval for you, but for anybody with any sort of meat of a machine, you'll be okay with that one. Anyway, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing if you're still here. Today's completely a random word of the day is on the screen now. Use that in the comments. Score yourself 100 population points in our very own secret society. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully with the extra features. See you then.